guys, I'm here with Roland Correa today. We're in his office, and he's somebody who I look up to for real estate investing. He's been in it for about 20 years and have done over 100 deals. So, Roland, how did you get into real estate investing?
It's a long story, but I'll try to be a little brief. My father came to this country with the idea of working and saving a lot of money and going back to Puerto Rico, and that was his dream, to buy land and live off the land and live a comfortable, happy life. And so that was in the mid '50s, and so he came to this country and he got two jobs, worked full time. At that time, they were making not even $2 an hour, so he was saving his pennies. And then he met my mom. Things happened, and all of a sudden he's married, has two kids. So now he has to put off his dream. And he just saved, and he still wanted to buy that first house, but it took him till 1975 to purchase that first house.
How old would he have been?
He was at the time almost 40 years old.
Okay.
So he purchased the first house, which he learned enough to realize that he purchased a two-flat. It's 2 units, so that the second unit would help him pay the mortgage and all the bills.
Right.
And at that time, the mortgage was so inexpensive that it paid all of our bills. Mm-hmm. All of our bills, the mortgage was like $120. All of our bills added up to about $180. We were collecting $200 in the rent.
So that started to make you think about the possibilities.
So that was the possibilities. And I said, well, now if Dad doesn't have to go to work, he's still, paying all the bills. So playing in the neighborhood, the next door neighbor comes by and he's talking, telling his kids that they're going to sell their house. And so that lit light bulb. I was still just a kid, and I went home and ran to my dad. Hey, Dad, they're moving. They're going to sell their house. And they have 3 apartments over there.
Okay.
And then I go, and I asked them, well, why don't we buy the one next door? Because we can still stay here, and if one rent pays all the bills, then you have 2 rents for you.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, son, it's too risky. You still have to go to college, and we have to take money, and we have to put money in our savings account for a rainy day, and think of my retirement. So I said, oh, well. You look up at your dad and you said, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So you believe him and you trust him. But that was always in the back of my mind. So I went through life, went through college, paid my college. My mother and my father, they put us through college, my sister, myself. We went and got jobs.
What did you go to college for?
Business administration. And so we went through college and we got jobs. I had a job in New Jersey, New York area, and there I got married. And my first wife was married, or her sister was married to an appraiser. So he went and he appraised this big building, this big apartment building had to have like 30, 40 units. Mm-hmm. And he appraised it, and he was telling me I should buy a condo there because they're all in foreclosure. And I didn't know anything about real estate. So I asked him, first question was, well, why don't you do it?
Right.
You're telling me, so why don't you do it? And he said, well, it's a conflict of interest. But if I could, I would. So him being family, I trusted him. So I went and I found out about this condo building. I went to the local real estate agent. I told him I want to buy a condo there. She says, oh, yeah, they're in foreclosure, but the next one won't be available until Tuesday. So I says, okay, I'll be there on Tuesday. And he said, so Tuesday came by, and I showed up early. Her client didn't show up on time, so I went in and I saw it, and I asked her, well, how do I purchase this? And she goes, well, you have to put earnest money. And I'm like, wondering what's earnest money? What's that? I got green money, I got checks, I got cash.
Yeah.
What's earnest money? So she said, no, earnest money, just good faith money that you present when you put in an offer to show that you're serious. Mm-hmm. And legally it's $1, but most people do 1,000. So I had $100 in my pocket. I said, I'll give you 100 now, and tomorrow I'll show up with the other 900. He says, no need. You just give me the 100. So I put in that it was listed originally. The previous owner bought it for $100,000. It was listed at $29,900, and I said, "Well, I can offer for this, can I?" And she goes, "No, don't, because you'll upset the bank. But I can still offer." And she said, "Yes, you can offer." So I said, "Well, offer him $20,000." She looked at me like, that's a little too pushy.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, "What the hell do I have to lose?"
Right.
So the bank came back the next day. She was surprised, and they said, "Oh, they came back at $25,500." So I said, "Okay, well, let's buy it." So about 3 weeks later, my attorney says she had instructed me to get an attorney, so I did. And we show up at this dark office with a button, and I see 3 stacks of paper, and then they tell me to sign them all. So they're about this big back then. And so I sign them all, and then, okay, at the end, she gives me 1 stack. "Here, throw some keys on top. You own this property." I'm like, "Hey, now what I do?" So
Now what do
I go
I
over
do?
there, I look at it, I paint it, and I put it up for rent sign. I rented it right away. And I was making $200 a month,
Okay.
approximately.
Net.
200, yeah. So I had it for a couple of years, had a good tenant, and I moved back to Chicago. And I got another job here, and I wanted to come back home, so I moved here. And a few months after I moved back, my tenant calls me and says, "Hey, my company's getting relocated to Tennessee. I'm not going, but I won't be able to pay you your rent." So far I've been super lucky.
Yeah.
First I get my deal with the bank. I get a tenant. I'm making money, and my tenant even tells me that she can't pay me in the future, so she wants to move out.
Okay.
Which now with experience that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, right. Letting you know.
Yeah. So I call my realtor friend. It was I call her up. I had the condo in West New York, and I call her up. She had a real estate firm in Hoboken, and so she says, "I'm going to list it." "Okay, well, go list it. I have to do a CMA." And I'm like, "Yeah, do whatever you have to do, one of those." So she did a CMA. She says, "Well, I could list this for $95,000." And I'm thinking to myself, I told her, I was thinking to myself first, and then I just told her, "I think you're crazy. I only paid $25,000 for this thing. Who's going to give you $95,000, right?" I'm figuring she's going to tell me 35, 40. I make a little bit of money, and I move on.
Mm-hmm.
She said, "No, 95, and now I could sell it." I go, "Nah, that's a little high." So she said, "I'll go 79.9." I go, "Okay, go waste your time." So she calls me about not even a week later, and she says, "Hey, I got an offer." So okay, yeah, what's the offer? I'm ready to tell you. I told you so. And she goes, "Well, I have them sitting here in my offer, and they're offering 75. Do you want me to counter?" And I go, "Counter? Lock the door before they leave. Have them sign." Those people are crazy.
So it sounds like you had a lot of good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
good connections, good network looking out for you.
Otherwise, I would have never. I didn't know anything about real estate. Just what what I seen my dad do. But I was a little kid when he did all that.
Right.
So then, they signed it closed, and I get a check in the mail, and the check, I open it up, and I look at it, and I'm like, I just went like that, and
Yeah.
it was like 42,000 something.
Okay.
And I was making like $35,000 a year.
Oh wow.
And that was my salary. So I'm jumping up and down for joy through the house like a nut.
I imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine that. And then I just stop and think, I got to learn how to do this.
Yeah, because that was just accidental, kind of.
Yeah, this I did without knowing anything.
Yeah,
without having a clue, and then all of a sudden.
So you have to be able to do more.
Yeah, so that's what started me in the real estate investing. I started searching. This was the late '90s, and I started doing research and searching. How could I do this?
Okay.
And so I became a loan officer. I figured if I become a loan officer, I'll be close to the bankers getting loans for other people, and I'll be rubbing elbows with them, and I'll be connected with the money.
Right.
Well, that didn't work out because all you do is turn in an application, and they take care of the rest.
Okay.
You don't meet anybody.
Yep.
So that's when I started real estate. I went to work as a gopher for Grubb & Ellis and Sandor Development in Indianapolis. And helped them out, and I learned the commercial side. And in 2005, I went and I took my real estate exam with Century 21. And the reason I chose them is because the broker had over like 30 years of experience. So I figured if I'm going to learn, I'm going to go with somebody with experience first.
Yes.
And so then I was doing the mortgages and the real estate, and met through different people. And in 2010, after the market had tanked, I was doing rentals. And I met this investor from Northbrook, and he wanted to do fix and flips.
Okay.
So I would find them the properties and sell them after he finished, but I would be there during the project because I wanted to learn. And he did, I was doing deals like every week at the time.
With him or?
With him. Yeah,
Okay.
with him. Well, I was acquiring the properties, selling the properties, and then also I became a project manager on a few of them once he.
Okay.
Because I wanted to get that experience and for me to be able to do it for myself.
Right.
And since then, we just learned how to purchase property.
Well, speaking of rentals now, I love the way you structure your rental deals with your investors.
Mm-hmm.
So can you explain a little bit about that and the buyout clause that you put in?
Okay, with the investors, a lot of people have money in their retirement plans that are not doing anything, or they're
Right.
getting 3 to 5% return on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I go in and offer them a little better return for 3 to 5 years. What I do is I find the properties.
Mm-hmm.
They put down the down payment. They give me money for the construction,
Mm-hmm.
and then I pay them a percentage on their money and a percentage of the profit. And then if they want to get out in 3 years, I either pay them out or cash out on the property, and I keep the property as my buy and hold.
I love that. So that's a way to leverage your resources with relationships and other people's money, and eventually you have a buyout clause, so it's your own. So
Yes.
it's temporarily leveraging.
Yes.
I love that. So another deal that I was very intrigued about was your office, how you got this place, and what you plan to do with it. So he structured it very creatively. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. Yes. I found I was looking for a mixed-use building because I have always had a real estate office, and I got tired of paying rent. So I figured with a mixed-use building, I would rent 1 or 2 units above me, and that would help me pay the mortgage for the building.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came across office condos because Chicago's kind of expensive.
Right.
So I still wasn't ready financially to get into a big mortgage or a big building. So I found these condo units, and they were listed on the MLS, which I hardly ever find a property on there.
Right.
But this one, it said condo units, or just on the units for $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the description, and it says, 7 condos, 8 deeded parking spots, all for $150,000. So I'm thinking, okay, each condo unit is $150,000. So I call the realtor and ask her, okay, so I want to see that, how many square feet do you get for the $150,000?
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to, I would like the office that's out in, that has the frontage of both avenues, that corner office. So is that $150,000? She goes, yeah, but it's all of them. I mean, what all? Each one is $150,000. What, you get a parking spot? No. She said, no. I said, all 7 and all 8 parking spots are all of total of $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all 7, the whole first floor, right? And the parking. I just want to clarify that.
Yeah.
She says, yes. I go, can I see it right now?
Right.
It was late at night. It was like 9 or 10 at night. Can I see it?
Oh my
It
goodness.
was like, so I got in my car, and it's close by the house. It's about 5 minutes away. And
She did meet you that late.
No, she didn't
Oh,
make
okay.
me that late, but I had to come and see for myself.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, this has water damage. It had burned, or I got to do major construction here, whatever. So I come, I'm looking at it, and the building is all clean. I looked through the windows, everything looked great, and they had the offices set up, from what I could see. so I said, well, in the morning, I made the appointment for the first thing in the morning, came to see it, and I was doing about 5 other projects, so I was short on cash. So I figured I have to structure this somehow so I can tie it up. So I said, okay, yeah, I want to put in an offer, and so I put in a low ball offer, a low ball, not that, but 100. I offered 135. Owner financed with 5,000 down and something, and paying periodically every 6 months. I make a payment till I can get financed and finish my couple fix and flips, and then I could just pay it all out.
So owner financing for a period of time,
yes,
until you get financed.
Yeah, that was my first offer, and they didn't understand it.
Okay.
So, but I wrote it up. I figured I need time.
Yeah.
I need more time to put this deal together. So I said, take this to your attorney, and he'll explain it to you.
Yeah, that's the thing when you do things creatively. A lot of times, don't you find that people don't really understand the creative ways almost?
Yeah, I explain it to them, but I also tell them to get their own attorney.
Yeah.
So what was in my favor is they took it to divorce attorney.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So
you want to make sure that you have real estate professionals in your corner. So if you're doing real estate, it makes sense to have a real estate attorney. So how did they go wrong? We'll have an example in going to a divorce attorney. Why? What was wrong about that?
Well, he's not up with the laws in real estate.
Right.
Yeah, he could read the contract, but if you don't understand it, you don't know anything about the strategies, then how is he going to protect his client if he has a savvy investor creating these contracts or these deals, and then he won't even know if it's even legal.
Right. Okay, so that was used to your advantage that they took it to a divorce attorney, right?
Yes.
And it went well? They accepted?
No, because he didn't know what he was doing, so that squashed it. That took like a month and a half of time, and by then we finished our fix and flip. So then in this past August, we put in an offer for them to rent it to us, because I needed a location, to rent it to us for 3 months, or 4 months tops, while we get the financing.
Okay.
Which we're closing either the end of this month or the beginning of January.
Oh, congratulations. That's awesome. So, how do you plan, what's your plans for the building? You said you want to have people who are in the same type of business rented out in each of those 7, or almost all 7 condos.
Okay, so yeah, we have 7 office condos, and my wife, who's here,
Yes.
she's my partner in all these dealings. Yeah, she's the one where I take the deals to and get them approved. She's the one that scrutinizes it, make sure we're doing the proper thing according to the education that we've learned and acquired through the last few years. We're using 1 condo for the front door realty, keep our business going, and then we are renting 4 of the other condos. One we have rented right now, and then the other 3 we're looking for tenants. We're looking for make it like a financial center. We're like an accountant, a real estate attorney, and maybe a mortgage company. And later on, when our tenant moves on, the one that's here now, we would like to maybe have an insurance company to kind of be all inclusive.
Okay.
Our study groups there, but since we have access to all the offices, all the 7 days a week, we are also planning on doing networking parties at least once a month, like meetups, and masterminds once a week, where we'll discuss our marketing strategies and also real estate.
Okay. So what would you say to somebody starting out in real estate, investing specifically?
Truthfully, don't do it. I don't need the competition, because you're gonna have a lot of money. You're gonna have more time with your family. Yeah, you're gonna leave a legacy. So why would you want that? suspicious.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much. And tune in for the next video.